and welcome to Best in Tesla. Analysts like Jim Chanos, Mark Spiegel, Gordon Johnson all see Tesla as a car company, and one that will be beaten or maybe even die because of all the competition that is coming. But as I talked about in my last video, demand is no problem for Tesla or anyone else who is making good electric cars. I think 2020 has just shown how great Tesla is doing, even with the pandemic going on. Shanghai factory was locked down for 2 weeks, Fremont was locked down for 7 weeks, but Tesla is still growing and being profitable. And being one of the only growing car companies in 2020, except maybe some small few startups from China as well. And Tesla will hit their new record deliveries of about 500,000 cars this year, up from 365,000 cars last year. But people like the three shorts I just talked about are still screaming that Tesla will not be profitable without regulatory credits they get from other automakers like FCA and Honda that has now joined the party as well. And it is a valid assumption because Tesla does get about $400 million per quarter in regulatory credits. But this is about to become pocket change for Tesla already next year, because Tesla has just moved all their chess pieces into place the last couple of years and are about to make a lot of big moves. 2021 will be epic. Let me show you why, and let's dive right in. Tesla has been putting in place many chess pieces in the last couple of years and working on many other things than just making cars. And I think 2020 showed just how strong Tesla has become. Growth with even the pandemic going on, still selling every car they make, even though they are growing with about 40% this year. We are of course still waiting to see what the final result will be, but definitely somewhere around 40% is my guess. But this just shows the demand, as Elon has said for years, is no problem. They sell every car they make and don't even spend $1 on advertisement. So in my opinion, 2020 has really been a great showcase for Tesla, showing off their strengths and blowing out skeptics' expectations. But 2021 will blow all our minds. This year will be known as the year Tesla blew up. Went from boy to man. And this will be a truly epic year. And not just for the car business, but let's start with the car business. Tesla did just show us what their production capacity is right now in the Q3 earnings report. And Fremont is able to produce about 590,000 cars annually. Shanghai can produce about 250,000 Model 3s right now, and I really don't think these numbers are crazy numbers. I know many people are talking about Elon's prediction being very optimistic, but I think he has learned his lesson from the early days that it's better to sandbag the numbers and prediction a bit and then surprise positive. And I do actually think that it is what we have been seeing for the last couple of years. He said they would be able to produce the Gigafactory 3 in about a year. Others laughed, but they did it and actually started production and the first deliveries within the first year. And the Model Y came out a whole 6 months before they promised. They said they were aiming for 500,000 deliveries in 2020, and we all kind of knew that was on the low side, which also showed with the lockdown of the two factories of a combined 9 weeks, and didn't change their yearly target from 500,000, so clearly they could have made more without the pandemic. So I think Tesla and Elon Musk are getting pretty good at sandbagging their predictions. And therefore I don't think these numbers are overly optimistic. I think they are very realistic. And actually a bit on the low side, again sandbagging a bit. because we know they did produce about 23,000 Model 3s in October in Gigafactory 3, which is more than 5,700 cars per week. So that would actually be closer to 300,000 Model 3s than 250,000 Model 3s in a year. So definitely sandbagging. And as we can see, they don't have any numbers in the last 7 columns here. So here we of course have to guess what will happen. But we have already seen the Model Y being tested in China, so they are just about to start production of the Model Y in China, if not this month, definitely in the very start of 2021. And this is not a totally new product, because they have been producing the Model Ys in Fremont factory for the last 2 quarters and have already delivered over 50,000 Model Ys in Q2 and Q3 combined in the US alone. So ramping up the Model Y should maybe not be much harder than ramping up the Model 3 in China. And they will make and deliver more than 150,000 Model 3s in China alone here in 2020. So I have no doubt that they will at least make the same amount of Model Ys next year from the Gigafactory 3 as they have made Model 3s from the Gigafactory 3 this year. So if we take a more optimistic approach instead of sandbagging, let's say 300,000 Model 3s, 150,000 Model Ys from China, 590,000 cars out of Fremont, that is already over 1 million. 1,040,000 cars. But we're not done yet. As we can see on the list here, we have 2 more columns with Model Ys that says construction, and the rest is in development. So this will probably mean that the Model Y is going to be the first car out of the Giga Berlin and the Giga Texas. And both of these 2 factories will be up and running next year. So we can definitely expect some Model Ys coming out of these factories. And as I have talked about before, I do think we will see the Gigafactory Berlin being ready to start production in the spring of 2021. They started building in March 2020, and I would not expect the factory to take more than a year to build. So have no doubt that we will see the Model Y being produced at least in the last 2 quarters of 2021 in Giga Berlin. And that is with the new casting machine that should make the production of the cars much more efficient, combined with the new battery-to-car construction Elon Musk had talked about that they will do with the Model Y coming out of the Berlin factory. So these Model Ys will probably be faster to produce and have much better margins, since they will come out with the new, much cheaper battery and being produced of a lot less parts, both in the underbody but also in the missing battery modules themselves. So I think we will see numbers in Q3 and Q4 from Berlin that are not less than the numbers of Model Ys coming out of the Fremont factory in Q3 and Q4 of this year. In Q3 2020, Tesla Fremont factory delivered 35,000 Model Ys, and I do expect that to be higher in Q4, because we can already see on the registrations that Q4 is looking like it is about to really take off here in the beginning of December. And Elon did say that he expects the Giga Berlin to produce about 500,000 cars already in 2022. I don't think even the most bullish bull had that kind of numbers in the calculation. So if they should be able to do that already in 2022, I do think that the last half of 2021 we could bring the production numbers up to about 100,000 cars at least. But what about Gigafactory Texas? Let's say it does not start production before Q3, so will not have a very big Q3, maybe just 5 to 10,000 cars, but could have a great Q4 of maybe 30 to 50,000. So let's be very positive here and say 60,000 Model Ys out of Giga Texas in 2021. So that would end the year off with 1.2 million cars if nothing goes wrong. This is kind of crazy. That would be an annual growth of almost 60% and be more electric cars produced and sold in 2021 than GM even has a plan for in 2025. And Tesla will produce and sell almost the same amount of cars in 2021 than they have sold through the last 10 years. And in 2021, the expected sales of BEVs, fully electric vehicles, not all plug-in but BEVs, is only going to be around 1 million. And Tesla will do this all by themselves next year. This is a crazy boost from Tesla, but it is something that Tesla has been working on for years, getting everything in place, and next year they will harvest the fruit of all the hard work. And the Model Y is a more expensive car than the Model 3, but it is right now cheaper to produce. And the new ones coming out of Shanghai and Berlin will be even cheaper to produce, and all this will make Tesla's profits go up. And Tesla will also start producing the Cybertruck and semi-truck at the end of next year. But I don't think they will be in high volumes already next year, so they are not going to be a crazy amount of profits to the bottom line, but they will come out and add to the halo effect of Tesla. Just imagine the lineup Tesla will have next year. A real lineup, not some CGI or prototype lineup. No, out there on the streets. The Model S, the Model 3, the Model X, the Model Y, the Cybertruck and the semi-truck. And maybe a Roadster if we're lucky. But a crazy lineup and a crazy production rate. So 60% growth with better margins? Yes, this alone will be a very good business next year. But this is only one part of the story, because all these cars are equipped with full self-driving capabilities. Some will buy this full self-driving package and some won't. But if we look at full self-driving beta that is out right now to deferred revenue, that I believe is about $850 million right now that people have paid for full self-driving, but Tesla is not allowed to take in as profit yet because they still don't offer really full self-driving, but that is what people have paid for. They will of course not get all the $850 million before they have the fully self-driving version ready, but they will start collecting some of all these money. So if Tesla comes out with full self-driving at the end of next year, as Elon said they would, they will get all the $850 million in profit. But I think people will also start to understand how far Tesla really is when they release the full self-driving beta to the public, because it will blow people's mind, and we will really start to see a lot of videos on the internet of people showing off their full self-driving car. So many will buy it because they know it's about to get really expensive to get full self-driving at the end of the year. So more and more people will buy full self-driving package just for that reason alone. But people will also start to see the true benefits of Tesla's full self-driving, which can suddenly drive you from point A to point B, as you see with the beta already, through horrible traffic with you not stressing or breaking a sweat. So I think many people will buy the full self-driving package just because it suddenly truly becomes something very useful, and also just something very cool. Because now people will see just how far ahead Tesla is in the full self-driving game. No one else have a car that can start in your driveway and drive you all the way to your destination. No one else. Only Tesla. This will become the new must-have feature next year and make Tesla stand out even more. Nothing will compare to a Tesla with full self-driving in 2021. Nothing. All this, in my opinion, will make the sales of full self-driving package skyrocket. And remember, this is almost pure profit. It is just software, and the price of the package itself is probably going to go up quite a bit when they release the full self-driving beta to the public. And Tesla's sales of cars, as we talked about, is going up 60% next year, with more people buying full self-driving at a higher price. Yeah. But we're not done yet with the opportunities with full self-driving, because Elon also said they will probably also make a subscription to the full self-driving next year. So if people suddenly can't afford the full self-driving package anymore, or simply don't want to spend this amount of money on it, they can just subscribe to it, and maybe even only when they need it. Like when you're going on a long road trip and would really like the car to be doing the most of the driving so you can relax a bit. Then they can just subscribe to this service. Or maybe you subscribe every month, because then you will have full self-driving all the time, but you don't have to pay the $10,000 or $20,000 for it. but only a small amount every month. And that would be another great income for Tesla for the full self-driving hardware and software that is already in the car, if you buy it or not. So all this will make the profit for full self-driving fly to the moon. With more cars being sold, with the must-have feature of 2021, higher full self-driving price, very little if any deferred revenues, and a subscription option, we could look at a potential revenue about $4 to $5 billion instead of the $400 to $500 million they have in revenue on full self-driving in 2020. And remember, these numbers are almost pure profits. Billions on top of their 60% more sold cars with better profit margin as well. And this is before we even talk about robotaxi. But I don't think we will see that already next year. But the full self-driving will bring huge profits already next year, even without the robotaxi. But we're not done yet. That was only the car business. And as you know, Tesla is much more than an automaker. Not according to Jim Chanos.
Despite what everyone says, they're still an automobile company.
But they do have a lot of other businesses. And their battery storage, solar and energy business is another part of Tesla's business they have been working on for years and getting in place and having the right product ready and being able to mass produce it and install it. And this is where we are at right now. They are ready to take off. And this will really show in 2021. Because more and more great examples like the Hornsdale power plant in Australia is just one of many that can show just how good a business case these battery power plants are. Hornsdale power plant paid for itself in just a couple of years, and therefore they have made it 50% bigger in 2020 because they saw just how good a business it was to make it. And many more have followed ever since, and many more will follow next year. And Tesla doesn't only have solar and batteries, they also have the software to control it. The Autobidder software that does not only work on large scale but can work on small scale as well. And Tesla does make small scale storage like the Powerwall that will also become more and more attractive as price of solar and batteries comes down. And you will then be able to control your energy bill to get pretty much down to zero, because you can start selling energy when demand is high and you have got most of that energy pretty much for free from the sun. This will also become very obvious next year just how good a business case Tesla solar roof or solar panels is together with a Powerwall and Autobidder. This part of the business will also explode next year. And remember, the Autobidder software is software. So again, something that is going to be with very high margins. And as Tesla begins making their own batteries and putting them into their cars, it will free up some more of the old batteries to put into storage. So Tesla will be able to make more storage as demand starts to pick up. Remember, Elon said that in 2022, Tesla will have about 100 gigawatt hours of battery production of their own batteries. And they are already now at 10 gigawatt hours at the Fremont factory. So it is not hard to imagine that in 2021 they will maybe produce about 40 or 50 gigawatt hours of batteries of their own batteries. This is still more than they produce of their old batteries right now. So this is not an insignificant amount. 50 gigawatt hours of batteries is enough for over 600,000 cars. This solar and storage will definitely become a pretty big part of Tesla's business next year, because they will also start shipping solar roof internationally and bring this business to the whole world and bring in some great profits for Tesla. But we're not done yet, because Tesla will also start bringing their insurance to more states in the US and other countries when they get the permission to do so. And here we are talking about the insurance business. That is also a business that has very high margins. Elon even said that 30 to 40% of the value of their car in the future could be in the insurance. So this is a very significant amount of their future business, because they will have the best and cheapest product for the millions of cars they are making. So why would you buy anything else? It will of course not all happen next year, but the potential of Tesla's insurance is just mind-blowing. And Teslas are some of the safest cars in the world, not just when you crash, but it will also prevent a lot of crashes, especially with the full self-driving getting better and better next year, which again will make the margins of the insurance business better for Tesla, because their car doesn't crash as often. So again, just another billion-dollar business that Tesla will enter into even more in 2021, bringing even more profits to Tesla's bottom line. So all these Tesla businesses will really start to take off next year. Tesla has been working for years getting every chess piece into place, and next year we will see Tesla take off like a rocket. And not only their car business, but every business they are in. And with all this profit coming in, I will bet that already next year in 2021, it does not matter if Tesla get $1 billion in regulatory credits or not, because they will start having billions in profit themselves already next year. And then I don't think we will have any short sellers left after 2021. Because it's going to become so clear the path that Tesla is on, and they will become so strong financially that there will not be anyone left that can honestly say, Tesla will go bankrupt, there is no demand, they are only a car company. No, it will be crystal clear already at the end of next year that Tesla will earn billions on their solar, storage, energy, full self-driving, insurance, and it will be clear that they will be able to at least make 5 million electric cars in 2025. And Volkswagen hopes to do 1.5 at that point. So it will be very clear next year that Volkswagen don't really stand a chance to catch up with Tesla. It doesn't matter that Herbert Diess has just held a meeting with 40 executives to discuss their mission T. How do we catch up to Tesla? Well, you don't, and your 40 old men in suits are certainly not gonna figure it out. You need some new blood in the company to change the culture, and that's hard, and the brightest engineers in the world to come work for you. So even though Herbert Diess is really trying his very best to turn Volkswagen onto a new path to go electric and catch Tesla, I don't think he will succeed. And if full self-driving is already a thing in 2021, and maybe many places in 2022, because of all the statistics, Tesla will be able to show that Tesla's cars will save thousands of lives, because they will be 10, 20, 30 times safer than a human driver, then true full self-driving, many places in the world, will definitely be a thing in 2025. And Tesla will be making at least 5 million full self-driving cars in 2025, both with their cars, semi and cybertrucks. Yeah, that is just game over. No catching Tesla. They have been working on all this for a decade. And next year, 2021, we will see all this start to fold out. The beginning of the end. And just imagine what the stock price will do. Yeah, 2021 will truly be an epic year for Tesla. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.